Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to do a daisy. I've had a few requests. Well, I've had a lot of requests for various things, but I've had a few for different flowers. So today I'm doing the daisy. So what I'm starting with, a tank top that has been soaked in soda ash. It's been spun out, so it's just slightly damp. That's how I prefer to fold my shirts. Unless I'm tying with sinew, and then I like them dry. But this one here is slightly damp, and then I've also pulled just the front forward. I call that centering a T, and I do have a video, so if you need to know how to pull the center of a T forward, you can look up my video, how to center a T, and that will get you to this point. And then from here, what I'm going to do is draw the daisy shape on after I've folded it. I've made myself a template. I just did half of a petal, and let's see, I want 6 petals on there. So we're going to fold this shirt in thirds. We've already folded it in half, and I just do kind of a rough guess at where to place this at. So I kind of put my petal on there, leave a little bit of space at the top, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of a space for the circle in the middle. So I'm going to put my center of my flower right there, and this is a washable marker. So what I'm going to do from here is mark this out. You can just kind of fold it and judge it until you get it in nice thirds, or the other thing, you can break out one of your protractors and just do the marks. So since this here is 180 degrees, I'm going to do 2 60-degree marks on here, and that will get me folded in thirds. So that's at 60 degrees, this one's at 120. So those are going to be where I do my folds at. So I'm marking this on here just so that you can visually see where I'm folding. But like I say, you can just guess it. If you've overlapped some, then you just fold back. So what I'm doing is holding the center point here, and I'm folding right up to my line here. And that means when I look through the shirt, I can see my other line. It's slightly off, but it's like right there at the edge. So I did a good job folding that. Fold this one over. And the main thing you want here is to feel that the other edge where you folded it is right there in that same crease. And if it's not, then you'll need to get in there and straighten it out some. I can feel one wrinkle. So reach in there, flatten it out. And once you have it here, now like I say, this here is the 3 folds. On this side you have 2 folds. This side you have 1 thick fold. Let's see. And then I'm going to put my petals on. So I'm just going to mark these on each side. I made my petal a little bit thin, so I'm just going to put it just a little bit away from the edge of the t-shirt. And I'll do that on both sides so that they're the same. Also, you don't have to draw a template. I do it just so that my petals are nice and even matched up. Sometimes if you draw them on, if you get them slightly off, then that will show. I'm going to do the same thing, leave just a little bit of an edge here, and then draw around that one. So those are the 2 folds I'm going to do. And you have options on tying them up. If you want a white line around your flower, then you can tie it up with sinew. Otherwise, I'm going to just tie mine up with kite string, because I'm going to, on this one, I'm leaving the petals white, and then I'm going to do the center of it yellow. So what I'm going to do, let's zoom in just a little bit. I'm going to accordion fold along this line and then tie it off with kite string. So this one here, I'm just going to do little bitty folds. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just lining that up so that I get a nice straight line across the top. Okay, there's my first set of petals. We're going to tie that off. Usually with the kite string, I'll wrap it around if I'm doing an image like this here. Wrap it around a couple times, and I'll just pull it just a little bit tight like I do with the sinew, but you're not cinching it down, just enough you can kind of feel it lock in a little bit when you tighten it. Okay, I'll do my second fold. This one you just have to kind of straighten out what you have going on here since you folded that one up. And once you get past that center spot, then it makes it easier. And you can straighten your folds up a little bit as needed. I'll get that one. Let's see if I can get my hands out of the way. Get that one tied up. So wrap that around twice. And cinch it. Oh, let me get the whole thing in there. There we go. Okay, and then what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to wrap just around that center point there a couple times. Tighten that up. So that part I'm going to dye yellow for the center of the flower, and then the rest of it I'm going to dye in various colors just around it. So I'm going to scrunch up the rest of this tank. Okay, so there, let me zoom in a little more. So these are the two petals I tied up, and then this here is the center. It's just going to be the little round circle in the middle there. So I'm going to dye that in yellow. The petals, I'm going to leave those white. So what I'm going to do, let's zoom back out, is I'll use my little bottle here. Put a little bit of yellow dye there in the middle. I'll flip it over. Oh, just a second. Okay, I got my gloves on now since I'm doing the dyeing part. So for my white area, I have just a little bit of thickened water, and this here will help hold the dye back, or at least not encourage it to creep into this drier area. So I'll go ahead and wet these petals down with the thickened water just like it's dye. Because if you put dye on the outside here and leave this dry, the dye is going to want to soak into those two dry spots. That's just the nature of liquid to equalize itself. So sometimes I'll refer to this as my white dye, but really it's not doing anything other than holding space. Get that good and wet. Okay, now we're going to go around the petals. It's light green, so I'll put that right up to the edge. This will just be the background of the daisy. Okay, now we can put the little bottle down. Now we're going to dye this in purple and the bright green. Okay, there's the daisy. I'm going to let this set up for 48 hours and then I'll wash it and I'll have the results at the end. Thank you for watching.